What's up, guys? College Football Tips here. We are back with a breakdown of this past weekend's top 25 games, and very depressing for me and Oregon fans. We'll just put it that way for a couple of team fans. But we'll get into all that and more. So here we go. All right. So I'm gonna do something a little different here. I always go from the 25 up. I think from now on, I'm going to go from the lowest, and then if, say, a 25 team is playing a number 2 team, we'll go over the number 2 when we get to number 2 instead. Because the way I was doing it was a little weird, so we'll go from this way. And without, any further introduction, number 24, Kentucky, lost. I was quite surprised to see this when I checked my phone. That Vanderbilt, of all teams, beat Kentucky. I don't even think did he play? Or jeez, man, he played terrible. Talk about a team that went from, top 10 to top 6, I think, in the nation, to not. Same, man, I feel that. There's pain in Kentucky fans this year, and, especially losing to Vanderbilt. I mean, it's as bad as Texas losing to Kansas last year. I mean, Vanderbilt's regarded as that, but good. I mean, since 2019, look at that. That's crazy, man. That's insane. Their offense played great. Oh God, no, I don't want to talk about that. Their offense played great. As you can see here, their run game was really the most dominant part. So. Sucks for Kentucky there, but good win on Vanderbilt. Number 23, we have Florida State and Syracuse. They absolutely obliterated Syracuse. Was really surprised. I thought Sean Tucker was going to have more of a better performance. As you can see, 14 carries, 52 yards, but their run game was dominant as all hell. Their quarterback threw for 3 TDs. They had a great passing. I mean, you see here's one of their plays, so really helped there. They only had a field goal, man, and sucks because there's a lot of teams that kind of felt like this weekend. But it was in Syracuse too, so pretty interesting that FSU got that win there. But Seminoles moving to 7-3. Talking about the same thing with LSU, turning it kind of around to a better season. Number 21 here, we got Illinois, and they played Purdue. Purdue came up with the upset. I did see this too, and I was very happy about it because I kind of like Purdue. Ever since they beat Ohio State a couple years ago, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit of a Boilermaker liker there when they upset somebody in the Big Ten, so it's kind of nice. At first I thought Illinois was gonna go big, especially their run game because they have a really good running back. I'm not sure he did fantastic. Oh no, he did pretty well. Yeah, they just outran him too. He threw. Okay, that's why their passing game was better for Purdue. So. Good on Purdue here. They came up late, which is nice, and really came up with the upset on Illinois. Illinois is kind of, I think, on a 3 or 2 game losing streak, so it's kind of interesting because they lost last week to MSU, and now it's to Purdue. So good win for Purdue there. Notre Dame. This one was coming in last second. First you can see here, I was watching this. At first, it looked like an absolute horror show. And in that fourth quarter, oh my gosh, Navy came back, and I was like, oh my God. And then it, comes down to an onside kick, and, most of those aren't really going to work. But I was like, oh, please. And then, it didn't happen. But Navy came up with very, coming back there. And I was really happy because it's Veteran Day weekend, and yeah, it was so close. But, Pine threw great. They have a great run game there with I can't say that. Sorry, Fafana. They played great run game for Navy's Fafana, I meant to say. But Pine threw well for Notre Dame. So good. Pine. I don't know, however you want to say it. Good win there for them though. This was technically an upset because I remember last week they said K-State was not favored. Baylor was, and I never thought that from the beginning. I thought K-State's a much better team. They're actually second in the Big 12 next to OK State right now. And kind of just absolutely shut down Baylor. Baylor's not the same team as they were last year. They took a lot of transfers in last year, really excelled to to make it to the Big 12 and win the Big 12 championship of all things, which was, I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of people were too last year. Just the sheer kind of dominance that Baylor kind of had on defense was a little impressive, but their defense has not looked that good this year. They're 6-4 and 4-3 in the Big 12, so I think they may still have a bye if I'm not wrong. No, I don't think so. But either way, K-State's number 2 in the Big 12 right now, and Baylor is tied with Texas and OK State, if I'm not too sure. So TCU plugged their way in, so we'll get into that too. UCF and Tulane, this one came down to the wire again. Man, I thought Tulane. No, I believe I called UCF for the upset on this. I always think UCF's a good team, considering they're going to be, I think, in the Big 12 within a couple years here. So that's pretty crazy there. But yeah, UCF, man, they started off strong and kind of kept it there on their foot on the pedal. Tulane kind of was trying to come back there towards the end, but man, that was a good game. I mean, it's 38-31. I can imagine that was a good game. Tulane's offense was kind of humming here, as you can see. But UCF, they just had a real good run game there, and he ran all over him, as you can see here. Man, 67 yards. That was his touchdown. Wow. All right. Well, that was a hell of a win for UCF. That's probably really. I mean, that was probably a really good game. I unfortunately didn't watch that one. I was really focused on a couple games this week. Boston College and NC State, actually extremely surprised this happened. The same amount of surprise as this one down here. Boston College is terrible. And I was just like, wow. NC State actually did not win this one. Started off strong, but Boston College winning TD, man. Let's see what happened here. I'm kind of interested. You got 18 seconds left now. That's why. Okay. Yeah, that was. Oh man, I love that. I kind of like that shit. That's always pretty cool. I mean, you can see it. Look at that. Boom, 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 and boop. They won 100% there at the end. That's crazy. Good win for Boston College, man. They need something like that. Good on them. North Carolina was killing Wake Forest to begin with, and I was like, oh my god. And then, they came back because Wake Forest is not a bad team, but North Carolina is a sleeper, and they're a real big sleeper, and they're probably gonna win the ACC. I don't care what anybody says; they're gonna be at Clemson in that ACC championship. It's obvious. I think so. I don't think Clemson's that good, to be honest. I don't even think Ungalaw's that good. But man, Drake May, dude, he is a heavy. I don't know how he's an underdog for Heisman, man. He is insane. 448, 3 TDs, 71 yards, running, 19 carries, man. He led for rushing and passing. Come on, man. Dude, he is good. And I'm surprised people aren't talking about him that much. They're starting to, just because they're noticing his numbers and the team's 9-1. But I always like Mac Brown, so I always got to give North Carolina now a little bit of attention there. So, man, that was a good win for them. Penn State, I call this obliterated Maryland. I knew they kind of would. Maryland's not that good of a team. Penn State's a lot better than people think they are, so that was a hell of a not surprise there. The run game's really what was dominant there, as you can see. Clifford didn't really do much. I mean, he just passed a little bit, but their defense also played well as well, as you can see here. They shut him out. So Utah, same thing, man. I saw some of that game. The run game was insane, 180 yards. Rising, man, I love Rising. He threw for a lot there. So good on that. Stanford, man, they're just a bad team. Yeah, they scored in the first, but when it came to that second and third, man, Utah just pedal to the metal. Man, this one is another big upset that I was like, what? Man, there's a lot of them this week. I was like, geez. Arizona, of all teams, beat UCLA, and I never thought DTR was, crazy good. I never thought that. And I mean, it kind of showed here. He only had one tutty. The run game was great, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, man, you can see here. I mean, the guy ran for 3 touchdowns, 181 yards. It's insane. But they just could not get it done in their own stadium too. Man, that's impressive for Arizona. I am highly impressed by Arizona's play on that game. Man, that was insane. I was really late, so I really didn't see the whole thing. I thought UCLA was, going to come back once that second half kind of started. But, man, they just pulled through towards the end for Arizona, so good on them. Louisville and Clemson, this one, it was looking close at first, and then they just kind of pulled off. Will Shipley had a nice hurdle. Their other running back, Maffa, whatever his name is, I forget. He played fantastic too. Unglau played okay. He didn't play great or anything. It was just a sound win, It's just a real good run win. That's how it felt, and as you can see here, that's how it went. So good on Clemson on that win. I think they're still gonna get smacked by North Carolina, but we'll see. I don't want to say smacked too heavily, but we'll see. This one came down to, man, it was close. Ole Miss was up for a minute. They were leading, and then Bryce Young just doing Bryce Young stuff, coming back, winning for Bama, which he's the Heisman. He's the reigning Heisman for a reason, and it really showed here why he won it last year and why he maybe should be considered to win it again this year. I mean, he just can set up drives well for his team, for his offense, even with Gibbs playing like crap. They put in another running back, and man, it was I forget his name, but he was playing pretty well. McClellan. Yeah, they put him in, and then he started running way better than Gibbs, and everybody was like, what's going on here with Gibbs? It was a little interesting. But man, that face mask on Jackson Dart, I swear, I thought he broke his neck. Man, that was a terrible face mask, and I'm surprised he stayed playing the game. I thought he broke something. It looked disgusting, but Bama held out and won that, kind of a top 15 matchup there. Whew, this one is another one, but I'll just say this. Harold Perkins. Man, that guy is a monster. He is like Micah Parsons, getting ready to be Micah Parsons. He is insane. He stopped Arkansas dead in their tracks. 4 sacks on the day. A forced fumble to end the game. He did everything just to keep LSU in this game, and without him, they would have probably lost pretty bad. But man, he was committed to A&M. And then he decommitted, and then he was thinking about some things. I think he was thinking Texas at one point, but man, he went to LSU, and I really wish he went to Texas. But he is a fantastic linebacker, and the Tigers got themselves a prospect. He is a freshman too, so that's a little scary. So good win for LSU, and moving up to number 6. Big ol' upset here. Oregon, they had a chance. They had a sliver of a chance to still make it into that, into the playoffs, and all hopes were lost the other day. Washington came in there and hung with them. Man, Penix, I gotta give you all the respect in the world. You are clutch sometimes, and 408 yards. Bo Nix just wasn't enough. He didn't do as much as he should have. And I think he got injured at one point. So they had to put another quarterback in there, which is a big reason why I heard they lost. But still, even with your quarterback out and you guys were up a little bit, because it was, it was 31-27, and then the stop here, there's a fumble, I think. No, they went for it. That's right. They went for it, and he slipped. Yeah. Man, that was terrible. I don't know why they didn't just get rid of the ball there, but man, that sucks. Man, poor Oregon. The Ducks, man, I kind of they're always kind of got some moxie, but man, sometimes it's kind of good to see Nike lose, because that's all they are. They're just Nike. They're Nike as a football team. So I kind of like it sometimes when they lose, but man, that was a great win for Washington, 37-34. That was crazy. I cannot forget right now before it happens. I already skipped over 2 of it, but USC, real quick, because they annihilated Colorado. Colorado never stood a chance. They got a safety in the first, so like, and it was 3-2 at one point, but no, just throttle in second, fifth, or third and fourth, and 55-17. They still have a chance, though. They still have a chance, and I'm very curious to see here. I want to go to it right now. I am pretty interested in to see what we got going here. So they're the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're just like the Big 12 in a way. So the top 2 teams. It's looking like. Have Utah even played? Oh, Saturday we got a good matchup, guys. We got a great matchup. Utah and Oregon. Man, I don't know why they're not there. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But man, that's gonna be interesting. This will okay. This next game will easily decide who goes to the Pac-12 championship, because yeah, okay, that's what I thought. If USC wins out and UCLA loses, and Utah or Oregon wins out, one of them is going to be the other one. But most likely it's going to be USC, if I had to guess. USC and Oregon. And if USC wins, there is a massive chance that USC will be in the playoffs. Because you got to, I mean, this is considering all things considered. Georgia wins out and wins the Big 12 championship, SEC championship, which I think they will. So you got Georgia at 1. I'm thinking this is gonna happen. Ohio State's gonna beat Michigan, and Ohio State's gonna win all the way out. So Ohio State's gonna win the Big Ten. You got who else? So yeah, that's where it gets confusing. You know what? We'll talk about that in a second. Just great win for USC, because we got to talk about it. Cause, I mean, I don't actually have to. Well, you'll see. Tennessee, quick, easy win. Destroyed Missouri. It absolutely obliterated Missouri. It was in Tennessee. I mean, this one's pretty easy to talk about. Hooker was insane. So this is why I wanted to talk about this one. God damn it. Texas cannot, dude. I don't even know why or what happened this game. Quinn looked just like he did in Oklahoma State. It was terrible. We were favored by 7 points. Obviously, we didn't get that. But, man, their run game is the reason why they won. Duggan played like shit, dude. He got sacked like 5 times. Quentin Johnson played amazing, and he had a wide open touchdown one time where one of our DBs just he read it wrong, and it was a mistake, and it just wasn't out muscled there. Miller kind of sealed the deal on one of the touchdowns here, and I was like, oh my god, this one right here. And it wasn't our defense's fault. You can just see the box score. They played tough as balls the first quarter. Second quarter, same damn thing. Third quarter, mostly the same thing. And then they just start to get gassed. A defense can't keep holding when your offense got no momentum. Be honest, there were some weird calls that I thought were like, okay. Don't know how we had a delay of game on the defense, but we had one. There were some hold calls where I think should have been called, but, from a Texas fan standpoint, I get a little pissed about things like that. Bijan got stuffed. We threw way too much. I don't know why we didn't just try to run the long side to the field. We kept running to the short side on the boundary, and I'm like, why are we doing this? And we do it every game. Texas runs to the boundary every single game, and it surprises everybody. And I don't know why they do. I don't know what Sarkisian sees on the boundary side running the short side every time, but you got fast backs. Roshan's really fast, Bijan's extremely fast, and Keelan Robinson's insanely fast. And I don't understand why we don't do something like that. Jordan Winton's another fast guy. You can send him on a jet sweep too. But no, they didn't get creative enough on offense, and their defense got gassed. TCU is just a nice, hard team. They were 9-0, and when you're 9-0, you play hard as shit. And you want to win because you want to go, and wanting to go really means everything. And Texas not winning that just may have nailed our coffin on going at all to the Big 12 championship. But with that being said, I want to go back to, no. Let's just finish it out. Michigan obliterated Nebraska. Quick and simple. Nothing happened there. Nebraska, nothing. They didn't do anything. Corum did the same shit he always did. Edwards ran well. J.J. McCarthy ran well. Passed well, too. Only passed 17 times. Didn't need to pass that much. So, great win for them. Same thing for Ohio State. C.J. Stroud. The running game was great. Trayvon Henderson had a sad injury, which sucked for them. Marvin Harrison Jr., Jesus, man. Insane. Better than his dad, I think. So, it's a great win for Ohio State. And Georgia, same thing. Insane good win for Georgia. Looked a little close there, and then Georgia just pulled it out. They just went for it. The second half, man, they came out slinging. So, good win on Georgia. But as I was talking here, not schedule, standings. This is what I wanted to talk about. The season is coming to an end, unfortunately, so it's going to suck. Let's just go through the Big Five, and I want to really talk about things here. The Pac-12, I think it's going to be USC and Oregon, and I think USC is going to come out on top. I really do. But I can see Oregon winning that. But so far, I think USC is going to win that one, so that's one. The SEC, I think Georgia's got it, easily. They're going to play LSU. But I think Georgia is going to just annihilate LSU. I really do. I think LSU thinks they're better than they really are, but they're not ready for Georgia. Georgia is just going to slap them. In the Big 12, this is one that could be very confusing. See if Texas wins out and Oklahoma State loses and Kansas State loses one, then Texas is in at number 2. If Kansas State wins out, they're obviously in. If Oklahoma State wins out and Texas loses one of them, they're in. I think Oklahoma State lost to Baylor. If I'm not wrong, no, they beat Baylor, so no matter what, Baylor's kind of screwed. Texas in a better position if Texas does beat Baylor. But if Baylor beats Texas, then Baylor's in where Texas is the same position. So they're very, 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 very similar. That's why they're at 223 and they're at 217, I believe. And if K-State loses one and Texas, like I said, loses or wins out, then they're in. But if Oklahoma State wins out and Texas wins out, Oklahoma State's in over Texas no matter what. So almost impossible for Texas to get in. Almost impossible for everybody else to get in. Really surprised about that. That's a little surprising to me. But most likely it's going to be K-State and TCU. And if TCU wins out, I don't think they will. Personally, I don't think they will. I think K-State's pissed, and they're going to come back and win on a vengeance, and they're going to win the Big 12. That's usually kind of how it is in the NFL, and I think that's how it's going to be in this one. So I think TCU might lose. In the Big 10, you got Michigan and Ohio State, and they're about to play. That'll decide who goes to the that'll decide who goes to the Big Ten to play probably Purdue. Geez, man, come on. God, that side sucks so bad. But probably Purdue or Illinois. And that's funny. If Ohio State wins, then I think Ohio State's going to win out. So top 4 is what I'm thinking here. Oh, ACC. ACC doesn't. Well. Shit, okay. I didn't think about something here. This could be an interesting one. So, in terms of ACC. Oh, man, wait. This could get a little interesting here. Where's that? Here we go. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So, Clemson lost. And North Carolina lost. Oh, my God. Oh, gosh. Okay, I didn't even think about this, guys. So, Clemson and North Carolina both lost to the same team. They lost to Notre Dame. I'm going to see which team had a potentially worse loss, 35-14. And if I'm not wrong, I think their win against North Carolina was a lot. And it's earlier in the season. Interesting. If North Carolina or if Notre Dame wins out and Utah loses, oh gosh. Oh, well, no questions. USC would be in then. Interesting. Oh gosh, guys. Okay. Oh, okay, guys. This is Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about this. I really just kicked out. I was like, all right, Notre Dame's done. Or not Notre Dame. Clemson's done. North Carolina's done. Guys, all right. This could be interesting. If say Notre Dame wins out, right? Say TCU wins out. And Georgia wins out. So TCU, Georgia, and say Ohio State wins out. So Georgia, Ohio State, TCU is 3. Say Notre Dame wins out. So that essentially would eliminate USC. And then North Carolina wins out. Or Clemson, one of the two, which one of the two is going to win out most likely. They're in. Because they would be the ACC champ with one loss to Notre Dame, who beat the essentially I'm guessing the Pac-12 champ. But either way, one of those teams would be in, because you can't really exempt a champ over a one-loss team such as Tennessee or another one-loss team like Michigan. But if Michigan wins out, Michigan and Ohio State are in the same position. If one of them wins, one of them's going no matter what. But if one of them loses, then it gets very interesting. So these next 3 weeks are extremely important. So we will see how this week this stuff pans out. But man, that's a little. Whew, this could be interesting. I'm kind of getting excited here now. It's ramping up here. Even though my team's lost, it's ramping up, and I'm still excited because football's football, and I can't hate on football. I love football. At the end of the day, I mean, if you're here, you love football too, right? I mean, that's really about it. Can't hate football, guys. I love football. So anyway, that was the top here. I think they are still the same. Yeah, they'll probably change later here. But that was the top 25 for this past week, week 11, and we'll be moving on to week 12 in a couple days here. So peace out. Thank you for watching.